Feeling safe can be dictated by your subconscious, by your inner child, and not by your adult rational thinking brain. Looking at the relationships that were causing me damage, to be honest, was made so much easier when I realized that it was a pattern that I was just keeping going because my brain felt like it was the right thing to do. Imagine coming out of a relationship that you know has to end. The relationship is over, and all you can think about is that person and how that person is your future, and somehow you cannot detach from them, even though you know rationally that it's over. You don't want to be with that person, but you do want to be with this person. You have this deep inner conflict. We like to think that we are intelligent human beings. I'm an intelligent human being. And for many, many years, I was perpetuating these cycles of getting into these relationships where my needs weren't met and I wasn't being chosen. And I felt like a victim of that. I felt like this is the thing that was happening to me. And when I realized that this is all things I was creating myself, it changed everything. As a result of these realizations, I also lost people because people dropped out of my life because my energy changed. Once I realized that there was this cycle from childhood that I was subconsciously carrying on as an adult, so many people didn't resonate with my life anymore. But I could see that. I knew that that's what was going to come. It did happen. And now when it happens, I let people go because that's okay. That's healthy. That's what I want. That's what I asked for. That's what I did the work for. Here is the process that I went through to start to dissolve these patterns. So, the first thing I did is I found a safe space. Now, ultimately, that was within me because that is the work that I was doing. However, after I created that safe space within myself, I also used therapists, I've used coaches, I've used friends, because it can be really helpful to talk to other people. And even just the very process of speaking your thoughts, your feelings, your experiences out loud can actually dissolve a lot of these things that we're going through. So for me, it was about creating a safe space for myself. For you, it might be finding a safe space with a therapist or a friend or a family member or a coach or anyone else. A safe space is the first thing that you need. Learn to reconnect with your body. Really connect to grounding practices like being in your body, mindfulness, meditation. What you're trying to do here is reconnect with your own intuition. And one of the most important things to realize and to accept and to acknowledge is that our intuition is generally a quiet, calm voice. It's not a frantic, loud, panicky, shouty, excited voice. Our intuition comes from a place of love and expansion. Ultimately, we want what is best for ourselves. Ultimately, we want to experience love. We want to be the best versions of ourselves we can be. Simple things like putting my hand on my heart and learning where I felt certain things when I was thinking about, is this right? Because that was a big thing for me. After I'd been through these relationships and I was trying to break the pattern, I was really worried that I wouldn't have what it takes to keep myself safe and to stop myself getting into this pattern again. But you can. You can learn it. And actually, the chances are you already know how to do it. You just have to realize what it is you need to listen to. And then, obviously, the next step is to reflect on past experiences. Think about your childhood, journal on it. Think about what limiting beliefs you have now that could have been formed when you were a baby or a toddler or a child, things that maybe you haven't realized before. Have a think about what's happened to you. Journal. What was your childhood like? What was mum like? What was dad like? What was their relationship like together? Is there a time in your childhood when you didn't feel safe? Is there a time when you didn't feel like your needs were being met? Is there an experience that you had when you were young that made you feel like you weren't in control or people weren't there for you? The people that should have made you safe weren't making you feel safe. And as always, I'm going to talk about self care and compassion and loving yourself and being gentle with yourself, because that's the thing that has helped me the most in my journey through all of this stuff, is learning that yes, I was responsible for creating these situations, these relationships in my life, but no one's at fault. I'm not to blame. It's just the way our minds work. It's the way we work as energetic human beings. The first step to breaking free of these cycles is to simply understand that they exist. Once I realized that it was a pattern that I was perpetuating, that I was keeping myself in. It was a cycle. It was just a glitch in my life, in the matrix, however you want to look at it. I was able to, first of all, detach emotionally, at least somewhat, from the situation, which meant I could be more analytical, right? Meant I could think about it more, create some distance from it. The people I was missing long after we were in relationships, or the people I was being attracted into relationships with, reflected a pattern in my life that no longer serves me. Being safe to our brains, to the chemical component of our minds, means childhood, because our brains tell us that when we were children, we were safe, we were looked after, we had our needs met. So our brain's default is whatever I experienced in childhood is safe. And that's what the status quo should be. That's what I should look for. That's what I should attract. That's what I should accept. And that's not always the case. Very, very often, there are things in our childhood that create subconscious patterns in our lives that then play out throughout our adult years. If this is you and you're going through repeated cycles of choosing people that are not putting your needs first or are not choosing you, and you go and do this work, I highly recommend doing some inner child meditations, holding space for yourself, journaling about it, because you can rewrite this. Anyway, I don't know if this is helpful to anyone, but I really wanted to share it because I had such a powerful experience in coaching sessions today. And it was all centered around this. And I realized this is something that I've worked through, something that you can work through. It's something that so many people are working through all the time. But know that you're not alone. There is community out there. This is very normal. It's very natural. And it's something that happens to so many people. It really is. That's all from me today, guys. As always, have the best day.